So there you are. Good afternoon everyone, I'm Jalid Arsara from 11 Peridot. So at this juncture, we will effectuate such experiment which is named baking soda plus vinegar experiment. So on this kind of experiment, we will observe what chemical reaction that will transpire while we are undergoing this experiment. So we will observe what are the evidence that can be present that will prove that chemical reaction had taken place on this experiment. So also we will write and balance the chemical equation on this reaction, and we will classify this chemical equation based from the reaction that has occurred. So we will show our observation as we go on further. So without further ado, let's go.
That's what we about, living by the sea, sipping on some rum, under the shade of a tree. That's what we about, just feel the warm breeze, living young and wild and free.
So let's commence this experiment. So in the first step, we will measure 3 tablespoons of baking soda and pour the baking soda into the balloon through the use of the funnel. So we have here the funnel and we have here our balloon. So we shall have 3 tablespoons of baking soda. Next step, we will measure 1/2 bottle of vinegar and pour it in a 500 ml plastic. So I have here. A 500 ml bottle. And it's optional, so we can add food color, so we'll use food color. Color orange. Then we will fit the opening of the balloon in the mouth of the plastic bottle, and we should be sure that we should not let the baking soda out of the balloon yet. So we shall raise the balloon, and what will happen should be observed. We will raise the balloon now. Ta-da! Wow! So this happened on our experiment. So we'll go on to our observations. We will show evidences and we will write a chemical equation describing this phenomena or this chemical reaction. So before going on to the evidences of chemical reactions in the given experiment, we should fathom the ingredients of the experiment, which is the vinegar. So the vinegar is an acetic acid. We should keep in mind that the vinegar is an acid. So it has 2 ions of carbon, 4 ions of hydrogen, and 2 ions of oxygen. So we have here also the baking soda. So baking soda is a bicarbonate, so meaning it is a base. So it contains 1 sodium ion, 1 hydrogen ion, 1 carbon ion, and 3 oxygen ion. So it is self-evident that when they are mixed, it will form a reaction. So going on to the evidences, so we can glimpse on the experiment that there are gas bubbles. So there are bubbles hissing on our experiment. So these are this prove that there are chemical reactions that are undergoing. So when vinegar and baking soda react, they create sodium acetate, CO2, which is carbon dioxide, and water. So we can see that the balloon swelled. So it's because of the gas that was produced, which is the carbon dioxide. So it was produced because of the gas evolution reaction. So addition to that, the baking soda and vinegar reaction actually proceeds in two steps. So the first is sodium bicarbonate, which is the baking soda reacts with the acetic reaction, the vinegar, in a double displacement reaction to form sodium acetate and carbonic acid. So because baking soda is a base and acetic acid is an acid, the reaction is also an example of acid-base neutralization reaction. So the reason this happens at all is because the products are more thermodynamically stable than the reactants. Since carbonic acid is unstable, it will undergo a decomposition reaction to produce the carbon dioxide gas. So on the observation, this carbon dioxide escaped the solution as the bubbles. So we can glance on the illustration that the bicarbonate or the baking soda has a chemical equation of NaHCO3 plus the vinegar, which is C2H4O2. So they will be combined or reacted to produce their product, which is sodium acetate, carbon dioxide, and water. So sodium acetate has a chemical equation of, and it contains 2 carbons, 3 hydrogens, 1 sodium ions, and 2 oxygen. Whereas the carbon dioxide, it contains 1 carbon, 2 oxygen. And also we have the hydrogen or the water, which it contains 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So we can glimpse on the equation that they are balanced, meaning the equation has the number of atoms for each element in the reaction and the total charges is the same for both the reactants and the product. So in a nutshell, their mass and the charge are balanced on both sides of the equation. So they are balanced. So in conclusion, vinegar is an acid and a baking soda is the opposite of acid, which is the base. So when they are mixed together, there will be a reaction that will occur, which we can see on the experiment that there are bubbles and gases. It made the balloon swell. So on this reaction, they produced and they created sodium acetate, carbonic acid, carbon dioxide, and a water. Whereas the chemical reaction occurred in two steps. So first is the double displacement reaction, and the decomposition reaction. And that will be all for the experiment of baking soda and vinegar.